Hey, there you are. How's it going? It's me, Jim, from the Delta Vidcast. And we're here to do a very special episode on location for you. We're going to be visiting Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead locations. We drove all the way out to Milwaukee to do that for you. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it was right across the border in Toronto. So it was only a hop and a skip away from where we are right now. As you can see, we're back in, Delta Vidland. So what we're going to do, without further ado, is we're going to jump in, all right, and we're going to go back in time. This took place last August, so it's almost a year old. Now, things got real crazy, all right, and that's why you haven't seen us in a while, all right? We moved, went back to school, all right? A lot of stuff happening in the world of the Delta Vidcasts, and I'm here to tell you that we're back, and this is just the first of many more things to come, and we're really excited just to be here and to show you this stuff. So let's get to it. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Jim Clark, and you are watching On Location with the Delta Vidcast. And today, we got a very, very special episode, all right? We've already taken you to the Dawn of the Dead locations in Pennsylvania, but now, here we are in Toronto for the 2004 Dawn of the Dead locations. I've always wanted to come out here ever since this movie freaking came out in the theaters and I saw it for the first time. And here we are at our first location. Right behind me is the hospital from Dawn of the Dead 2004. Now, it's actually a community center, right? It's not even really a hospital, but you wouldn't even be able to tell because even walking up on it, it's definitely got that hospital vibe. So without further ado, let's check it out, shall we? Right here is where the ambulance would have been. The guy sat up and he's like, hey, what's going on? She's like, hey, are you okay? Right there, right? And above the awning, they put the letters emergency, for emergency room. You can see they're not there now, but they must have just clipped them up there. Now, what I find really cool about this location is in the movie, it kind of seems like really far out from like where they end up at the mall. But the thing is the plaza that the mall was at is right behind us. Now that's where we're gonna stop next. So let's go. Alright, so we're at the second stop here on our Dawn of the Dead 2004 tour. Alright, we're at the Thornhill Square Shopping Center. And basically this part that you're looking at, that's it. That's all that's left from the movie. They tore the rest of it down to make room for this like kind of square thing that's behind it. And if we have some time, maybe we'll take a quick peek at it before, we end this location. But what we are going to do is apparently you can still go inside and we got a little bit time left before it closes. So we're going to take a step inside and see what remains of the Dawn of the Dead 2004 mall. Let's go.
All right, friends, let's get into it. If you notice, the outside of the mall doesn't quite compare to the mall in the movie, and that's just mostly from CGI. One thing I want to point out here is the floor patterns. You can see in these stills from the movie, they're actually the same patterns. And here's another example here, and again at the Reflex Sports store. Another thing I want to point out is the store that's right here under the escalators. That's going to be an important point to look at in just a few moments here. But here's another great shot of how the architecture and the structure of the mall is pretty much the same, even though there's only one small section of it that is still open to the public and still has some stores that you can go in and visit. And here is the shot I was referring to earlier. This is a shot from the 2004 Dawn of the Dead documentary, and there's that little store in the bottom left-hand corner. This is the rooftop area. I'm not sure if we were allowed to access, but the elevator went up there, so I went. And I think this is a great shot to see exactly what they were looking at when they were filming the movie and kind of what it would have looked like with them living on the roof. And in a moment here, you'll see a great shot from the roof all the way down the elevators. And you're really going to see all of the things that can still compare to the movie today, including the floor patterns, the escalator, and even the rails are the same if you take a look. And this is the back entrance, that long hallway from earlier. And on the left is the grocery store that remains and the security office on the right. Again, important to note here that the vents, the floors, the structure, the architecture is all still the same from the movie. Just a few new coats of paint. And out here is the back entrance of the remaining part of the mall. If you look across there, you could see that church. A little fun fact is on the DVD featurette, there's a documentary of behind the scenes. You could see that church here, which shows that this whole complex that we're walking up to, it was actually where the mall used to be and was actually the section of the mall that they filmed in. Something really cool you can see is the underground mall parking. There was actually a sign right above there. And so I thought it was really cool to get that inside shot that this underground mall parking is still here. Now, this section is a little bit different than the section they showed in the movie. And obviously, there have been renovations since then. But if you look to the far left, when the camera pans over, you'll see that signature green paint that is seen in the movie. And the structure and the layout is essentially the same. Just a really cool part of the mall that is still there, still functioning. There's that green paint, and you could see the pillars are pretty much lined up the same. So very similar shot. And now we'll go up to the top here of the community that they built. And you'll see, hi girl, you'll see this is where the mall essentially was back when the film was made.
So as you can see, not much of a mall anymore, but more of like an office building in like, you know, kind of a little community. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it. It's pretty cozy around here. And now I can officially say I've been at both Dawn of the Dead malls. All right, let's keep cruising, see if we can find something else, shall we? Let's go. There you guys are. I thought I lost you. We're still going down the Dawn of the Dead tour, all right, for 2004. And this is a pretty recognizable location if you watch the movie. Now, where you just started from was the original establishing shot of this park when Kenneth and Anna are walking through, going to the tunnel. And if you look, this bush, right, this little special little bush, this bush is in the movie. And you can actually see it right here. I'm gonna put this up on screen and you can see Kenneth is like basically standing right there. So there's the bush. We're in the park. Let's continue on to the next part, shall we? All right, so in the movie, all right, movie magic, they come from the park and they come down that hill and then it cuts to this. Now, we're gonna take the walk where they went. Let's go. All right, so they would come down here, right, and they would come down into this tunnel. Now, if you take a look on the side, right, there's graffiti on each side. It's not the same graffiti, but this is what it looked like when the movie was filmed. So I'm kind of happy because we got a pretty accurate, you know, like just look to it. It's really just kind of surreal being here. Let's go and look over here. This is the exit. And right there is where they would have been looking, right? The guys are there, right? These guys are up here. They're like,
what are you doing? Come on, he's a cop!
And then, after some banter, they're like, we're gonna go look at the mall. And it would have been right up over that hill. So let's go up and let's look at the mall, shall we? They must have moved the mall. There's no mall here.
You know where they moved it?
Across the street. So there you have it. More movie magic. We hate how fake Hollywood is. All right, let's move on to our next filming location. Let's go. All right, for our next stop, we're here in Milwaukee. No, just kidding. We're here in Brampton, right? It's a town just outside of Toronto, and we are at Anna's house from the Dawn of the Dead for, all right, location tour. All right, so you can see right behind me the exterior that they used for Dawn of the Dead for Anna's house. And if you look on the side, you can kind of barely make out the window that she jumps out of in the movie. That's the same window, it's the same house. Check it out. Now, I want to show you something because I think this is kind of important because it's kind of lost on the movie. And when she's standing in her driveway, she looks across the street and the guy's standing there with the gun. He's like, "Get back, Anna." I want to show you that that is not where we are right now. If you turn around, there's a fence. Where's the house, you say? Well, come on, I'll show you. That shot was obtained right here, all right? And that's like 1, 2, 3. There's 4 whole houses down the street. But as you can see, there's the house. I would have been coming right about here. And he's dead. And that's pretty much the end of that shot. Except on the way out, we're gonna go down and we're gonna take the trip that Anna would have took to leave to escape from her dead husband. Let's go.
Okay, so here's the house. Okay, slips out. And this is the corner where her husband ate somebody. She makes a right.
Years old, fell from the roof on East 29. Kathy was 11 when she pulled the plug. 26 reds and a bottle of wine. Bobby got leukemia, 14 years old. He looked like 65 when he died. He was a friend of mine. Those are people who died. 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 They're all my friends. They just died. She broke in church, he let the gimmicks go right. So they died of hepatitis in upper Manhattan. Sly in Vietnam, bullet in the head. Bobby OD'd on Drano on the night that he was wet. They were 2 more friends of mine, 2 more friends that died. Those are people who 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 died. They were all my friends and they died. Mary took a drive out from a hotel room. Bobby hung himself.
There you have it, folks. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead locations. Now, there was a little bit more that we could have seen when we were out there, but we were kind of limited with time, and we had the kids with us, so we didn't get to see everything that still exists to be seen from that movie. So, who knows? Maybe one day in the future, we'll take another ride out there, and we'll rehash the Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I mean, we did that with the George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. All right, we're very big fans of the Dawn of the Dead around here. At least I am. All right, I love both of those movies the same. And for all you folks out there, all right, who play into the discourse, all right, of course George Romero's is better, but the new one doesn't take away from it in any shape or form. In fact, its entire existence, the whole thing, is paying tribute 100%. And I mean, the guys, Roger and Peter, all right, the actors, they came back and they played cameos. Tom Savini was in it. I mean, that's enough for me to welcome it in the world of Dawn of the Dead, because it's one of my favorite movies. And before I send you off today, I'm going to tell you a little story. Dawn of the Dead was actually one of the first movies that I seen like back to back twice in a row at the theater. I remember I went and I seen it. All right, I was blown away, and I walked out and bought another ticket and walked right back in. I'll never forget that. Also, I think it was on Fox. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time. All right, it's 2004. It's 20 years. All right, I'm an old man. All right, I don't remember everything. All right, but what I do remember is on television, they premiered the first 10 minutes of it instead of a trailer. And when she's going through the thing and getting attacked, and the zombies. And I'll never forget just how much I looked forward to seeing that movie. So it was really cool to go out there, and even though the mall was gone and it was just all broken up, it was kind of cool just to see it the way it was, as it is today. So I'm not gonna sit here talking your ear off. All right, I'm Jim. It's Delta Vidcast, and you're watching On Location. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a good night.